Fish have the worst customer service experience imaginable. They die quietly. No complaint, no warning, just a float that says, "Alright, guess I'm done." And every single time we all jump to the same conclusion. Oh no, disease. Which is funny because that fish didn't live in a tank, it lived in a pressure cooker with decorations. See, disease usually doesn't kick the door in. It waits until stress leaves it unlocked. So today we're talking about stress, the thing killing fish, while disease gets all the credit. Stress is the real setup. Here's the problem with how we talk about fish deaths. We start at the ending. A fish dies, we look for a name. Ick, fin rot, fungus, something Latin enough to sound official, but most of the time, that wasn't the hit. That was the receipt. Stress is what does the damage. Disease just shows up to take credit. When a fish is stressed, its body floods with cortisol, the same hormone humans get when life goes sideways, except fish don't get stress relief. They don't go for walks, they can't vent to friends, they just sit in it, constantly. High cortisol wrecks three things at once. The immune system weakens, healing slows down, and energy gets burned just staying upright. So the fish isn't fighting disease, it's budgeting its organs. This is why stressed fish catch everything. Ick isn't picky, bacteria don't care, fungus doesn't need an invitation, they're already in the tank, already in the water, already waiting. A healthy fish keeps them in check without you ever noticing. A stressed fish just can't. And here's the uncomfortable part. Stress doesn't look dramatic. No flashing lights, no instant collapse, just small changes that feel easy to ignore. That's why people swear their fish was fine yesterday. It wasn't. It was just still functioning. By the time disease shows up, the fish already lost the fight weeks ago. You're not watching a mystery unfold, you're watching the final scene play out. The not dying problem. Here's where aquariums lie to you. Your fish isn't dead, so your brain clocks it as fine. But fish don't show stress like mammals. They don't scream, they can't limp, they just downgrade. Slightly clamped fins, hiding more than usual, eating, but slower, and their color goes a little duller. That's not just the fish's personality, that's the fish equivalent of quietly uninstalling hope. By the time a fish looks sick, it's been stressed for weeks, which explains why medication feels useless. You're putting a band-aid on a lifestyle. Okay, stress source number one is bad water. Let's talk about the thing fish are literally inside of, okay? Ammonia burns gills, nitrite blocks oxygen, and nitrate doesn't kill fast, but it nags constantly. And here's the mistake. People think stability means the numbers aren't zero, but fish don't read test kits. They feel change. Sudden pH swings, big temperature shifts, and large water changes done wrong. Imagine your house randomly turning into winter every Tuesday. Most mystery deaths after water changes aren't poison, they're shock. Temperature mismatch of just a few degrees can spike cortisol. pH swings mess with osmoregulation, how fish balance salt and water in their bodies. That's internal panic. Your fish survived the change, its immune system didn't. Stress source number two are tank mates. Aggression doesn't need teeth. Fish can be stressed just by being watched. So fin nippers, territorial bullies, and fish that don't fight but never leave each other alone. Constant low-grade harassment keeps cortisol elevated all day. No recovery period, no safe corner, just vibes. Bad ones. And community tanks love plausible deniability. I've never seen them fight. Yeah, neither has the victim. They're busy being chased off food. A fish that eats last, hides more, or never fully relaxes will die younger, even if no one ever really touches it. Stress source number three, the empty box. Bare tanks stress fish. Wrong decor stresses fish. Bright lights, no cover, no plants, no structure, just glass, gravel, and anxiety. Fish evolved around clutter, so roots, plants, rocks, and shadows. When they can't break line of sight, their brain never shuts off. So you built a showroom. They needed a neighborhood. And yes, this includes bettas in pristine glass boxes under stadium lighting. That fish isn't lazy, it's just overwhelmed. So this is why disease gets the blame. Because disease is visible, but stress isn't. You can point to ick, you can't point to cortisol. So stores sell meds, forums argue symptoms, and the real cause stays untouched, which is great for bacteria. They love a tired immune system. Most pathogens are already in your tank, they're just waiting for the fish to lose the fight. So here's how you actually keep your fish alive. If you want fish to live longer, keep the water stable, not just clean. Match temperature and chemistry during water changes. Stock for behavior, not just for looks. Add cover, break sight lines, and dim the lights. And always be watching for subtle changes because they won't look like emergencies. Healthy fish don't need constant medication. They need a life that doesn't feel like a prank. Because most fish don't die suddenly, they quit. And yeah, that one hurt to say out loud. I'm Art Gills, and I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe for more.